All right, so if you're a product manager, you already know this. Having a brilliant idea, that's just not enough. Not even close. The real challenge, the thing that can make or break your career, is figuring out how to navigate that crazy web of people, priorities, and yeah, politics inside your own company. So how do you actually get good at that? Let's dive in and figure it out.
Okay, picture this, and I bet it sounds familiar. It's just so frustrating. You've done all the research, you've got the data to back it up, your team is totally on board, and then bam, your project gets killed by some VP you've maybe met once. Look, this almost never happens because your idea was bad. It happens because you didn't see the political iceberg right in front of you.
So this whole challenge really boils down to something I like to call the power paradox. And it's truly the core conflict of being a PM. Think about it. You are 100% on the hook for the success of your product, but you have exactly zero direct authority to order anyone around. Weird, right?
You've got to forget that whole CEO of the product thing. I know, it sounds cool, but it's not just wrong, it's dangerously misleading. The reality? It's more like with great responsibility comes no power. Seriously, you're responsible for the whole thing, but you have none of the formal authority to make it happen. Those engineers, designers, marketers, they don't report to you, not one of them.
So why does this paradox even exist? Well, it's because product management is plopped right in the middle of this giant, complicated web of stakeholders. You're the hub, and you're trying to connect all these different spokes. And trust me, it's way more complex than you think. There are a lot of spokes.
I mean, just look at this list. It's kind of crazy, right? You're the single point of contact for all of these different groups. You're basically a full-time translator, translating needs, sending updates, just trying to keep everyone pointed in the same direction. But here's the catch. Every single one of these teams has their own goals, their own pressures, their own idea of what success even means. It's a massive, massive balancing act.
And that really gets to the heart of your job in any given meeting. You have to be the voice for everyone who isn't in the room. So when you're talking to engineering, you're the voice of the customer and the business. When you're in a room with execs, you're the voice of your tech team and the user. Your job is to somehow pull all these competing views together and fight for the product as one single coherent thing.
Okay, so let's be real. If you don't have any formal authority, how in the world do you get anything done? Well, the answer is what I consider to be the PM's real superpower: influence. This is how you lead without a title. It's not about barking orders. It's about inspiring people to follow you because they actually believe in the vision and, just as importantly, they trust you.
So what does influence without authority actually mean? At its core, it's the skill of earning your leadership. You're not given it, you have to earn it. It's all about building up your credibility piece by piece and showing your team that your vision is the one that's going to help them win too. And let's be super clear, this isn't about slimy office politics. This is the good stuff. This is the essential work of getting everyone on the same page and building real momentum.
Okay, I get it. Influence can sound a little fluffy, right? A bit abstract. So how do you actually build it? The good news is, there's a playbook for this, a set of practical, repeatable steps you can take to start getting real support for your ideas and your vision. All right, let's break this down. Step 1, you have to lead with data. Not just your opinions, no matter how great they are. Show your work. Step 2, you absolutely have to understand what makes each stakeholder tick. What are their goals? What is their boss breathing down their neck about? Next, step 3, don't try to boil the ocean and convince a huge room all at once. That's a rookie mistake. Go get your key allies on board first in one-on-one conversations. And finally, all of this stuff, it works together to build your credibility over time. And that, my friends, is your single most valuable asset. Now, knowing what to do is half the battle. The other half is knowing what not to do. There are a few things, these common traps, that can just absolutely wreck your credibility and your influence in a heartbeat. Think of these as political landmines that you have to steer clear of no matter what.
Yeah, these are the absolute credibility killers. Seriously, try to pull rank or use authority you don't actually have. It just makes you look weak and kind of desperate. Get so married to your own idea that you won't listen to anyone else. You look rigid and impossible to work with. And please, never, ever say, "That's not my job." Your job is the product's success. End of story. And finally, your role isn't just to be a secretary in meetings or a spec writer. You've got to bring strategic value and own the outcome all the way to the finish line.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the why and the what. Let's wrap up with the how. Because all of this is great in theory, but what can you do like today, the second this is over? How do you actually start putting this stuff into practice?
So I want you to ask yourself this simple question. What can you do today? Look, building a stakeholder map and earning real influence, it's not a one-and-done thing. It doesn't happen overnight, but it always starts with one small step. So what's that first step going to be for you?
Okay, here's a super simple 3-step plan to get you started. First, just make a list. Who are the top 5, maybe 10 people who are absolutely critical to your product's success? Got it? Okay. Second, for each name on that list, just jot down what you think their goals and motivations are. It's okay if you're guessing. This is just the beginning of your map. And third, and this is the most important part, schedule one conversation this week. Just one. And your only goal is to listen. Don't go in to sell an idea. Just listen and try to understand their world. That's where trust starts to build.
I want to leave you with this final thought. Being a great product manager, it's not about checking off tasks on a list or shipping a spec document. It's about truly owning the outcome. It's about doing whatever it takes to solve a real problem for your customer and make your product a genuine success. And mastering this art of influence, that is how you get the real job done.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.